guys, it's Gina. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have another random wrap up for you. I have a handful of books to talk about. Some of them are rereads, some of them are not. So let's just jump right into it. The first book that I want to talk about is Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. I listened to this on audiobook and I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So Year of Yes is Shonda's memoir that follows this last year of her life, how she kind of turned her life around and decided instead of being negative and saying no to everything, she would start saying yes to anything that scared her. She is very socially awkward and has sort of anxiety about doing social things, so she would always say no to interviews and going on TV shows and all these different things until one Thanksgiving her sister told her, you never say yes to anything, and that kind of really stuck with her, that no, she doesn't say yes to anything. She ended up finding herself in a situation where she was going to be sitting with the president for some event, and it dawns on her that had they asked her if she wanted to do that, she would have said no, and that kind of really eats at her. So she decides to start saying yes to everything. She says yes to interviews, she says yes to TV spots, she just says yes, including saying yes to being healthier and eating better and exercising, and also saying yes to being comfortable saying no. It was just a very empowering book to read, and it definitely gave me a lot of ideas, and she just basically is an overall happier person after she changed this about herself. And I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a self-help book because it's just her going through her experiences, but you could look at some of these passages as self-help-ish, I guess. It was just really fun to listen to and kind of get an idea of how she turned her life around and how she is now a happier person. The next book that I read was book 6 in the series of Unfortunate Events series, The Ersatz Elevator by Lemony Snicket. This series is getting really repetitive. It's the same thing, just a different situation. I hear book 7 is where it starts getting crazy. I am still enjoying the series, but not as much as I was when I first started. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars just because it is kind of repetitive and you do kind of see what's happening and what's going on. I'm excited to read the 7th. Don't know when I'm gonna get to it. Hopefully sometime soon-ish. Maybe this summer. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The next book that I read was a reread, and that is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. This is the 6th book in the Harry Potter series, and this is kind of continuing from my Harry Christmas to You rereads. I wanted to reread all of these on audiobook. Didn't get to this or the 7th one last year, so I kind of set it aside, finally put it back on hold and got it and listened to it. And there's just so much in these later books that I forgot about because I haven't reread them as much as I have the earlier books because they're huge, and I just really enjoyed it. I forgot how snarky Book Harry is and how wonderful Book Jenny is. They're just so fantastic. But I do have a question for all of you Harry Potter people out there. I asked this question to some of my coworkers. One of them asked her sister, and they all think I'm nuts. And it's just something that's been on my mind that I've been wondering about ever since I first read this book, and every time I watch the movie and every time I see it again. And this question does have spoilers for the end of this book, so if you have not read this book or seen the movie, please mute this video if you don't want to be spoiled until I put the book down. I will put the book down when I'm done spoiling it with my question. So my question, something that I've been wondering about for quite a while, is when Harry and Dumbledore are in the cave and Dumbledore drinks all of the potion and he's asking Harry for water. Obviously Aguamenti does not work in the cup that he is using because it just disappears because of the curse, and it's just kind of how it works. My question is, why doesn't Harry try to Aguamenti directly into Dumbledore's mouth? Yes, I realize this sounds hilarious and we had quite a kick out of it when I asked them at work. It's something that's been bothering me ever since I first read this. Like, just Aguamenti into his mouth, get him some water, it would be fine. And my coworker, she says she just started laughing. She lost it. She was crying. She was laughing so hard because all she could think about was Dumbledore drowning. Yes, I realize that that could be an issue, but he's gonna die anyway. So, you know, if he does, oh well, I guess. I don't know. I guess just I think of the Aguamenti like coming, if the water comes out of the wand, Harry can just like move the wand real quick whenever, you know, if Dumbledore starts drowning. Or does the spell stop when it fills up its container that you're putting it in? In that case, it would stop once it fills his mouth and he could swallow the water and get relief from the potion. Or here's an idea, maybe try transfiguring a rock or something into a different cup that can hold the water. I don't know, it's just something silly that's been on my mind that I've always wondered about. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. The next book that I read was You by Caroline Kepnes, and oh my goodness, this book is creepy but fantastic. I ended up listening to the audiobook because I heard the audiobook made it even creepier, and ooh, just thinking about it gives me the chills. I was listening to this at work. Probably not the best idea to listen to this at work. There's definitely some passages where I had to stop it because it was just too awkward listening to it with all of my coworkers in the same room, even though like they couldn't hear it. It was just, it got really creepy, and all of my coworkers can confirm that I had a look of pain and disgust on my face through most of this book. In fact, one person even asked me, what in the world are you listening to that's so graphic? Because I'm pretty sure most of the time I was doing faces like this, and I was just really freaked out because this is told in the second point of view. It's first person point of view, as in the person telling it, but he's telling it to you. You are Beck. You go into the bookstore and you go into this aisle of the bookstore and he's following you, and it just makes it so much creepier because it's like he's telling it to you, and it just, it's really creepy, but it is also really fantastic, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The day I finished this, I went out to the store and bought the second book because I needed to know what happened. The next book that I read was another reread, and that is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I am rereading the entire first 3 books before the 4th one comes out this month, and I cannot wait for the 4th one to come out this month. I need it now. It can't come soon enough. So I loved this book even more than I did the first time reading it. There's so much in it that just went right over my head reading it the first time, and it's so good. The writing is so well done. I can't believe that there's stuff in it that's so precisely pointed out to you in her writing that just goes over your head the first time you're reading it. So where I have no words. I'm speechless. It's just amazing, and I cannot wait to finish my rereads of book 2 and 3 and get my hands on the 4th one. And the last book that I want to talk about is a book that I finished today, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I listened to this on audiobook, and I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. It's not as phenomenal as I've heard some people saying, but it wasn't horrible. I probably am gonna rate this a 3, but it's more on the lower end of a 3. I might even give it like 2.5 or so. I just feel like there's a good chunk of this book that could have been condensed and shortened, and I don't know. It's definitely interesting. The world building is really great. I really love the world, and it's kind of hard to explain, and I'm not even gonna try to explain it because I feel like I'm gonna spoil something if I try. But it's just, the characters are really great. I like them. I just had issues with some parts. I didn't like the fact that, yes, they're talking in different languages, but everything's given to you in English, so that way you can understand it, and you don't know that they're talking in different languages until it says, oh, well, they're talking so this person can't understand them, so they have to translate. That I didn't really care about. I also didn't like the whole insta-love connection that kind of happens. And then there was a good 2 hours or so of this book, and I even had it on a faster speed, so probably more than that. But there's a good 2 or so hours that I kept zoning in and out and thinking of other things, and every time I zoned back in, I didn't care enough to rewind to figure out what I missed. Even though it was a fairly important part of the book, I just feel like it could have been done in like a half an hour time span. I don't know page numbers because I listened to it on audiobook, but as far as audio consumption goes, it could have been condensed a lot. And that's really all I'm gonna go into because I don't want to spoil anything. I do plan on reading the second one because it does leave off to where it's going to be getting better, I hope. I don't know. I do plan on reading the second one. We'll see if I read the third one after the second one. Like I said, I really enjoyed this world, and I feel like all of the random pointless stuff that I found pointless, it built up to the end of the book, which I'm pretty sure is going to give us the beefy part of book 2. Hopefully. And that is it for today's random wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.